Buying a home in Scotland is a little bit different than elsewhere in the UK, and it can feel like there's a lot to learn, especially if you're buying for the first time. In this video, I'll be talking you through the key steps in the Scottish home buying process, so you'll know exactly what to expect from start to finish. Let's dive in. Step 1 is figuring out your budget. Most people start by using a mortgage calculator to get a rough idea of their affordability. Then it's time to speak to a mortgage advisor who will be able to calculate exactly how much you may be able to borrow. You'll also need a healthy amount of savings to cover things like your deposit. This is typically 5 to 10% of the property price. Plus, you'll have some additional costs which will also need to come out of your savings. These are legal fees, land and buildings transaction tax, and any potential moving expenses. The next step is to get a mortgage in principle. A mortgage in principle is a statement from a lender saying, in theory, they would be willing to lend you a certain amount. It's not a guarantee, but it can show sellers that you're a serious buyer. You can learn more about mortgage in principles here. In Scotland, you need a solicitor involved early on, before you can even make an offer. They'll guide you through the legal side of the purchase, from noting an interest all the way through to picking up your keys. It's a good idea to speak to them right at the start of the process so they can get to know you, and so that they can undertake things like anti-money laundering checks, which can slow down the purchasing process later on in the journey. Once you've got your mortgage advisor, solicitor, and your finances in place, it's time to start house hunting. The best thing to do is to make a list of non-negotiables that you're looking for in your property. Maybe it's things like period features, 2 bedrooms, access to a garden, or private parking. Once you know what you're looking for and you know what your budget is, you can head to a site like ESPC and browse properties that are on the market. The best way to streamline this process is to sign up for property alerts with a My ESPC account. With a My ESPC account, you can save searches and be notified when a property that meets your criteria comes to the market. Something else you'll have to look out for is the home report. This is a document that includes a survey, an energy efficiency rating, and a property questionnaire. Read this carefully as it can give you a clearer picture of the condition of the property before you make an offer. You can learn more about home reports in this video here. Once you find a property you like the look of, it's time to book a viewing. This allows you to have a look around a home that you like the look of, and it allows you to ask any questions you have about the property. We always recommend going to see a property twice before making an offer. Often with first-time buyers, the first viewing can be viewed with rose-tinted glasses. That's why we suggest going back for a second viewing, so that you can go back and ask any further questions and take a closer look at the details you might have missed the first time. If you like a property, your solicitor can note interest with your seller's solicitor. This means that you're formally interested. If more than one person notes interest, sometimes the property will then be put to a closing date. At that point, all interested buyers submit their best offer, usually above the asking price. If you'd like to find out more about closing dates, you can watch this video here. If your offer is accepted, then the legal process begins. Your solicitor will carry out checks, negotiate contract terms, and handle something that's called concluding missives. Once those are signed by both parties, the deal becomes legally binding. In the last few weeks, you'll finalise your mortgage and arrange building insurance. This is often required by the lender before completion. Once everything is in place, you'll transfer the funds, collect your keys, and officially become the owner of your new home. And that's how buying a home works in Scotland. It's a little different to buying elsewhere in the UK, but once you understand the process, it's much more straightforward. If you're just getting started, take your time, get professional advice, and don't be afraid to ask questions along the way. Good luck and happy house hunting.